Right, it's December the 22nd. It's December the 22nd. Whoop whoop. Literally, like Christmas is literally around the corner. Have you managed to get everything done, is what I'm curious about. Right, hands up. How many of you have seen the film The Passion of the Christ? I did. Now, I made the mistake of seeing that on my own one evening and watched it all the way through, and I was broken while watching it. Now, if you've managed to get this far, then you will know that Jesus genuinely knows everything. There's a pretty hard-hitting moment in that when Peter denies knowing Jesus. Now, despite him saying that he was going to die with him, and Jesus looks directly at Peter. Can you imagine that feeling? That sinking feeling when you know you've done something awful. And Peter's heart must have hit the floor. Now, there's one bit in this that is a bit confusing. You read about it when Jesus speaks about swords. There's a verse here that he says, "That's enough." And we're not quite sure about the tone of how he says that. So I looked this up because I was like, why are they getting two swords? That doesn't make sense. If it was, "That's enough," then it's speaking about the right amount. If it was, "That's enough," then it was a rebuke. Read it and see what you think. I'd be keen actually to get some of your feedback. I think Jesus wants a sword with him because he's going to teach his disciples about God's kingdom and violence just before he dies. But I'd be interested to see what you think. Now, quick question here. Have you ever been hit before? Like proper actual punched? There are verses here that are summaries of events that you need a little bit of imagination for. And do you want one? Here it is. The men who were guarding Jesus began mocking and beating him. Now, don't breeze over that one. Death and violence was what these guys ate for breakfast. So please don't think that Jesus has this easy. Now, in the last verses of today's bit of Luke's account of Jesus, in verse 70 and 71, Jesus says he is the Messiah, the chosen one of God. And after telling his disciples to be quiet and silencing demons when they shouted it, Jesus here says something that is a little bit cryptic, but it's taken as his opponents as him being worthy of death. It's the 22nd of December, and it's likely that you aren't going to want to be reading about Jesus' death. But can I say to you, right before Christmas, to see what Jesus has done is essential to celebrating the life that we lead now and celebrating the birth of Jesus. Do you remember Isaiah? It says, for to us a child is born, and to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Jesus here is walking to his grave so he can walk right out of it again for you. His life must end so your real life can begin. He takes punishment from God so we can have freedom with him. December 22nd is not just about death. Jesus here says he's going to enjoy time with his disciples again after his death. It's about anticipation of the new life, anticipation of the kingdom of God. Tomorrow is going to be tough, but these next couple of days could change your Christmas from being okay to being absolutely amazing. I bet there are only a few Christians who are reading this bit of Luke today. So why not, before reading this, pray that God would use it today, somehow, to help you see Jesus as more and more awesome. We've got 2 more days to go to Christmas. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right, 2 more days, 2 more cracker jokes. Here we are. We are going to read this one. It's going to make you laugh. What's a horse's favourite TV show? Neighbours. Oh, come on.